Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unboxing Buoyant, celebrating the power of our inspired creativity. And I am so excited to be here today to unveil this book that has been the focus of my heart and my brain for many years. And so I extend to you a hearty welcome, and I'm so glad that you are joining with me today. So, my name is Susie DeVille, and I am the founder and CEO of the Innovation and Creativity Institute. And I help entrepreneurs build aligned, exceptional enterprises by tapping into their inspired creativity. And I have written my book, Buoyant, The Entrepreneur's Guide for Becoming Wildly Successful and Free, for entrepreneurs and creators who are painfully stuck and riddled with self doubt, who believe that the path to the freedom and the success that they seek is through more hard work, more productivity. And what they may not realize is that the easier path is through accessing their unbridled, inspired creativity. Now, Buoyant is geared for entrepreneurs, but it's also wonderfully helpful for visionary leaders, educators, students, and advocates of social change. So I want to take just a minute and take you through this process of how I wrote the book, where did this book come from, why I wrote it, and then share with you take you inside the book, give you a sneak peek, talk with you a little bit about it, and read just a few paragraphs from it so you have a sense of the sort of flow and rhythm of the writing. So Buoyant is the result of three major time periods of my life. The first was in 2005 when I decided to go back to school and pursue a master's degree in entrepreneurship. And I was in this innovation and creativity class when I was introduced to the Palo Alto design firm IDEO. And we were watching an old Nightline episode, and I just about lost my mind when I got an inside look to how IDEO works, what their culture is, how they pursue innovation and creativity, what their philosophy is of how they structure their organization, how they brought in ethnographic research, which was an anthropological approach. All of it excited me to no end. And I left that class just determined to learn absolutely everything I could about innovation and creativity. There was something about it that was electric in my body when I was learning this information. And so over the course of 15 years, I read and pursued every morsel of innovation and creativity research that I could get my hands on. Then in 2008, from 2008 to 2013, I entered what I lovingly refer to as my nuclear winter period, when literally everything in my life just imploded. My health, my marriage, my finances, everything. And because I was desperate to find a way to rebuild my life, I leaned into some of these practices that I was learning about in this research and started applying it to my life. And it was enormously helpful. And it did help boost me out of this abyss into a place of possibility. But I could intuit that there was something missing, that there was more. And in my work with my entrepreneur coaching clients, I was having tremendous success. And I could see that they were hungering too for something else. And it wasn't until about 2014 when I returned to world travel that I got the glimpse into part of what was missing. And that was moving in a space of letting yourself get lost in exotic locations that fill your heart with joy and bring you alive. And then I began learning how to sketch and paint, as well as collage and do pastel work and all kinds of culinary classes, etc. And then I knew I had the missing piece of the puzzle. So I took this left brain approach, this strategic information of innovation and creativity, my own time in the fire of loss and grief, and then I blended it with this beautiful, dreamy, fabulous world of creativity and inspiration. And then I went into a creative cave in about 2018 after I sold my real estate company and began writing the book in earnest. So I started putting all the pieces together, and I had this very messy, sort of gloppy, drippy first draft, and discovered this incredible, fantastic mentor, AJ Harper, who helped me take this incredible mess and really get it focused and improve the flow and make sure I had all of the right teaching points there, all the right exercises, and that I put my reader first. So we now have the final product. And it has been a process. It has been a labor of love, but it has been such an incredible joy to have this opportunity to really push my thinking to the absolute edges of what is possible and to know what it is that I think and to hatch and craft this methodology that I call the Creative Rebels Voyage that is so powerfully transformational for all of my clients. And it certainly was for me. So, without further ado, I want to switch my camera over and take you through this book a little bit and give you a sneak peek into it. So, here she is. And I just have to say, I want to give a shout out to my publisher, Page 2 Publishers. They are based in Canada. And we went through many iterations of this cover design, and they were so incredibly patient and kind and understanding as I hacked my way through the briars of trying to figure this out. And they came up with this, which is exquisite and perfect for this book. To me, it looks like a piece of art. I want to point out a couple of things here. You can see that this cover is a matte cover, and when you feel this, when you get your own copy, hint, hint, you will be able to feel this delicious, how this feels tactilely is amazing. But you can see there's a little bling, there's a little spot gloss with the title, and the little pieces of washi tape also have some spot gloss. You can also see on the, well, maybe not so great, on the spine. Let's see if I can maybe lift it here. There we go. You can see how they've carried the design all the way through the spine. And then the back has 3 quotes, one from Susie Moore, one from Pamela Slim, and one from AJ Harper. And several people who read earlier drafts of the book said, you've written the artist's way for entrepreneurs, which was enormously gratifying and complimentary to me. And so I began using this as a tagline for the book. So let me take you inside. This has French flaps, which thrills me to no end. And then this incredibly vibrant magenta color for the interior, which picks up on the spot color on the French flaps as well as the design of the front. And also you can see that the book chapters have the same design, mimics, sort of echoes the design of the cover. And there are fun little things throughout, like these are inspiration beacons, which are noted with these cute little lighthouses. And then my exercises, you can see how those are noted with a little journal and a pen or a pencil. All the things that I love. And so the back has the about the author section and my picture, and then again this beautiful magenta color, and gives this design gives the book so much more of a feeling of substance in your hand. I can't really describe it, but it just is fabulous to hold it. And then you can use these as little um, opportunities as a bookmark. So, isn't it pretty? I just love it. So, I want to show you, I want to take you to this methodology that I referenced when I was talking about my own process of how I came to write this book. And I want to show you this because it's vital information. It's what is not taught to entrepreneurs. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite of what is taught typically to entrepreneurs. So, again, this methodology is called the Creative Rebel's Voyage, and this is our path to freedom and success. And notice that it starts with inspired action. It doesn't start with yoking yourself to the plow of more work. It doesn't start with burning the boats. It doesn't start with saddling up for no rest and no joy. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite. It is about inspiration, which is not the light bulb over the head um, connotation that you may be thinking of. Inspiration, by the way, I mean it, is breathing in what brings us alive: beauty, art, nature, spending time with those we love, doing things that we love to do, doing what calls to our heart, and filling the well to the point where we're overflowing and we have so much to give as a result, and so much ability to create and make as a result. So I understand how loaded of a word creativity is, and I know how often we're going to want to run to the stage corners and hide behind the curtains when somebody says, "Oh, let's create something," or "Are you an artist?" Because we will say with great conviction that that world is not for us. And I understand that because that used to be me. What I want to show, and what I do show in this book throughout the entire book, is that creativity is in all of us, and it is not the end product that matters. You may create something that you love, but that's not the point. The point is the experience of creating and the transformational power of the act of creating. That's what we're after. And so once we marry inspired action with moving our hands and making something and transcending and going across this threshold of being stuck and riddled with self doubt, and then jumping and walking across this bridge over the moat of self doubt, and we land in the promised land of self trust and agency. This is where we start to get our power back. We reclaim who we truly are. And then we can put our true self back at the helm of our lives and make our business decisions and our life decisions from this place. Not from a place of what everybody else expects, not from a place of obligation and duty, but from a place of what it is we love. Then our job is to protect and fuel our creative energy. And we do that through boundaries. We do that through healthy habits and rituals. We do that by feeding what it is that brings our energy up and delegating those things that drain us. So I want to take just a second here. I'm going to switch my camera back, come back to the land of being in front of you guys. And I want to take just a second and read to you. This is probably 3 paragraphs, but it will give you a flavor of what this book is all about, as well as the way in which I have written it. If we do not fill the lungs of our being with passion, beauty, art, love, and sumptuous experiences, we won't have the ability to breathe out creative acts. Just as it is true within the physical body, it is true within the body of the self. We must inspire first, fill the wells within us, fill the lungs of our being with fresh oxygen. There can be no breathing out, no creating without it. What we are trained to do, though, is deplete all of our creative resources day in and day out by yoking ourselves to a plow of discipline and more work. Lots and lots of exhaling, a relentless expenditure of energy that drains our tank and steals our creativity kindling. We are taught to consider the inspirational acts of play, creative expression, and immersing ourselves in wonder to be frivolous, childish, or for folks who are crafty. We consider ourselves serious, business minded adults, not children or leisurely folks with time to kill. I know how surprising and unbelievable it is for me to say that making things, immersing ourselves in beauty, and intentionally curating our minds are just a few of the unexpected ways to get out of the enterprise doldrums and the stress of repeatedly missing financial targets. After all, we understand and value work, lots and lots of work. Play, not so much. Creativity isn't just a physical byproduct of our artistic effort. Creativity is a swirling force of potentiality in our minds and spirits. It is infused in how we approach our engagement with and delight in living and working each day. It is both the fuel and the fire of our inspiration. It is also the vessel that carries us to who we truly are. It is a nautical chart that helps us map the ports of call that pull us, excite us, lift us, and bring light into the darkest places of our hearts and minds. Inspiration and creativity work as playful co conspirators of joy. They are both the point of departure and the moment of arrival, initiating and delivering us to a new point of departure. So, I hope that that gives you just a little sort of taste of how this book um, rhythm works. I am taking you on this Creative Rebels voyage. We're in this boat and we're heading out into the unknown, the place that most of us have an incredible desire to avoid at all costs. We tend to not have a high tolerance for uncertainty. But this process of inspiring ourselves and then creating and letting ourselves get lost on purpose is the most effective way to build the musculature of your tolerance for the unknown and for uncertainty. And that's the key to not only successful entrepreneurship, but that's the key to successful living. Those things that call to our hearts that we are just so intrigued by, that we've dreamt about, that we've wondered, I wonder if that could do that. I wonder if that's for me. But then we talk ourselves out of it. We listen to the naysayers. We listen to the little voices inside of us saying, no, that's for somebody else. You can't really dream that big, or you can't really go for that. Or what if you fail, God forbid? Or what if you look silly or foolish? So, this book is your nautical chart to cross those waters that you have been holding yourself back from and delivering you to a place of courageous willingness and an almost divine sense of possibility. It is true for all of us, whether we are business owners or not. We all have this desire to leave a mark in the world, to leave a legacy. And there's no better way to do that than to first heal our own hearts and then take that incredible elixir that has come from the best part of us, this inspired, creative heart, and then transmute it into something and share it with everybody else. Share it with the person who needs to hear specifically from you, your journey, your path, what you've learned, what you have seen, what has broken your heart, what has lifted you to the heights of ecstasy. We need to hear from you. But we won't get off the sidelines if we don't first trust our vision and our voice. And so, if this is you, I would love for you to go to Amazon and search for Buoyant and my name and get a copy for yourself. And if you're so moved, get a copy for a friend or for someone who you're looking for a good Christmas gift for. And I'm not just saying that because I'm an author who's desiring to sell copies. And of course, that is absolutely what I want to do. But I'm also saying that because our lives are meant to be so much more. And I know that you have a dream that if I asked you to write it down, you would, or say it, you could bring it to mind in 2 seconds. It's right under the surface of us. And it's our time, it's your time to now do what you came here to do. So I want to thank you all again for coming today. And I hope that you can see that creativity is not some nice to have frivolous thing that's if you have extra time or you're retired or you have time to kill. It's vital. It is absolutely essential. And gone unexpressed, it is not benign. It can, if it's dammed up within us, it can start to make us feel so disconnected from ourselves and from the world. But once we unleash it, it is the most delicious feeling of freedom that you can possibly ever experience. And when we get involved in creating something and sharing it with the world, there is this one of a kind energetic exchange that happens. And you can have that reach in the moment, 5 days from now, 50 years from now, next millennia. Who knows whose life you can change and you can influence by what you create today. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for supporting this book, which has been so close to my heart for so many years. And there have been so many people who have given me support, love, understanding, unbelievable guidance, and words of wisdom. I cannot thank you all enough. And I appreciate you all being here with me today. And I thank you for taking the step toward your own creativity. Have a great afternoon. Thanks so much.